Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of WIFF Off Script. I am joined here today by Hayden Freker, our Managing Director, and Vincent Georgie, the Executive Director and Chief Programmer of WIFF. My name is Erika Sanborn, and we are really excited to be talking all things Oscars today. Those are coming up this weekend, Sunday, March 7th. Welcome.
Yeah, we're really excited to do this special episode of not just the films that we love, but the films that we hope win Oscars this coming Sunday. And just to let you know, we've had a great week already at WIFF Presents. Yesterday, we did the Oscar-nominated shorts, which is the first time we've actually ever shown the Oscar-nominated shorts here at the festival. Very happy to do that. So we did all the docs and animated and live-action films yesterday, and there's other screenings today and later this week as well. So check them out.
Yeah, really excited that we're actually able to do those Oscar shorts this year. It seems like it's going over well so far, so I want to see what others think for the next couple days.
Yeah, I had a chance to catch all of the shorts ahead of time, and it's always exciting to see what you like compared to what other people are drawn to. So much story can be told in such a short amount of time, so it's always really great to see what those directors and those filmmaking teams can come up with.
Absolutely. Do we want to just get into it?
We're just going to get right into
Let's do it.
All right. So again, just to clarify, we are doing who we would want to vote for or pick to win the Oscar in each category, not who we are expecting to win. These are not predictions. Hayden, kick us off.
Good preface. Okay, so let's kick it off with Best Actress. So Actress in a Leading Role nominees. The nominees this year are Annette Bening for Naiad, Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, and Emma Stone for Poor Things. This one is tough because I think all of them were so good in each of their films. They're excellent. Special shout out to Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall. We had that at WIFF 2023. Incredible performance, absolutely. But for me, I really would like to see Lily Gladstone win. I think she was phenomenal in that film, Killers of the Flower Moon. Held her own, obviously, with some of the best actors and actresses that were in that film. No doubt, because she's an absolute professional. Every scene she was in, she was stealing the scene for me. So I definitely would like to see it go to Lily Gladstone, no doubt.
Erika, how about you? Oh, for me? Okay. It's definitely a good category. For me, the choice finally came down to between Carey Mulligan for Maestro and Lily Gladstone. But I would pick Lily Gladstone, and I agree with Hayden for sure, because I think it's the most special performance. I compare that performance, and it's that comparison, to like a pumpkin. It's a performance that's lit from within. It's as if she's got this candle inside of her, and it comes out of her. It's such a special performance. I can't really think of another performance that it even reminds me of. That's how unique and special it is, and that's why I think Lily Gladstone should win the Oscar. Erika, how about you? Where are we at?
Hard left. I am going Emma Stone for Poor Things. That movie, ever since I saw it, I haven't stopped thinking about it. I just had so much fun. I thought that she brought so much energy to the screen and just so much. She really encompassed this woman who is discovering herself and discovering what she can do in the world around her and all of those things. And her there, it was just so much fun to watch on screen. Just like we were talking about right before hopping on this, I can't wait for it to be on streaming later this week so I can watch it again, probably before the Oscars. I think it's such a great film, and her partnership with Lanthimos is just so great, and she does such great work with him. So
it's a good match between them for sure. And that's also a very risky performance. Yeah. I can think of an endless list of actresses who just would not be doing that part. That's not nothing.
It's a very odd role that I think worked out really well, that Emma Stone was the one casted for that, for sure.
Yeah.
And I love that she's steering her career in that direction compared to kind of what she started out with a lot of safe roles. Kind of, she was always the nice girl, that type of thing. She's really pushing herself to the limits and bringing out kind of more of that artistic and risk-taking side.
Yeah. No, well agreed. No, well agreed for sure.
Yeah.
All right. 2 for Lily Gladstone, 1 for Emma Stone. Okay.
Yep.
Vincent, take us off with Best Actor.
All right, so the nominees this year for Best Actor are Bradley Cooper in Maestro, Coleman Domingo in Rustin, Paul Giamatti in The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy from Oppenheimer, and then finally Jeffrey Wright from American Fiction. So for me, this category was actually rather easy. I don't think this is actually the strongest slate of nominees. I probably have many other choices I would have put in here. For me, it's a pretty easy win for Paul Giamatti from The Holdovers. I think it's special. I think it's different. I think you've got different flavors to it. I think there's a physicality to it. I think he's really, really special. And now, having seen all these films quite a while ago, Paul Giamatti's performance in that film is still the most vivid. I remember him much more clearly than I actually remember the other performances. All very good. I would say Coleman Domingo is a very good actor. That project isn't that strong. Mm-hmm. The nomination is the win. Everybody was good in this category, but for me, it's Paul Giamatti. Erika, how about you?
I'm going Cillian Murphy.
Are you?
Yeah, I think he just did such a great job to be on screen for, I don't know the exact percentage, but so much of that 3-hour film, and just constantly showing up and completely encompassing that character. I think he does such a great job, not even through hair and makeup transforming, because there isn't so much of that in Oppenheimer, but through his facial oh my gosh.
Facial expressions.
Facial expression, yes.
Yeah,
thank you. Through his facial expressions and just his movements, he fully became that character. Mm-hmm. And when you see him on the red carpet, even, he is like a completely different person. He's back to himself. So just with all of those subtle little moves, he did such a great job encompassing that and becoming this really serious and profound character.
Yeah, it's a great performance, no doubt at all. Hayden, how about you? Are you Team Erika, Team Vincent, or Team something else?
I love both teams here because I'm like anything Paul Giamatti's in, I'm there. I'm ready to go. Absolutely. But I'm going to have to lean towards or give the edge towards Cillian Murphy. I just want him to see an Oscar. He is one of the best of our time right now. And I think he finally deserves his chance to hold up that gold trophy. And that's really why I want him to win for this. I do agree with you. Paul Giamatti had his role lasted longer with you, which I definitely agree with. But Cillian Murphy with Oppenheimer and, with what Chris Nolan was able to do with that film, I just want to see it go to Cillian Murphy. I think it's his time.
Yeah, it'll be a nice night. He's certainly, and I think we can probably agree those two are probably the front runners. So it's probably either one. And shout out to Bradley Cooper and Jeffrey Wright, both starring in films that we've done at WIFF. So very happy to see those nominations happening as well.
Yeah, with Jeffrey Wright, I think his performance is great, and I love so many things that he is in. And with American Fiction, that's a hard line to do the comedy, but also the serious drama acting in one. In this, the little bit of satire, and his character obviously had a lot of good dialogue pieces as well, and him playing off of Sterling K. Brown, which I'm sure we'll talk about coming up. But I thought, he honorable mention for Jeffrey Wright as well.
Yep, agreed.
All right. Getting into the supporting categories, we're hopping into actress in a supporting role. And the nominees this year are Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, America Ferrera for Barbie, Jodie Foster for Nyad, and Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. This category for me was a bit of a tough one. But at the end of the day, I'm going Divine. Mm-hmm. I think that her role in The Holdovers really brought the film together. She was kind of this grounding piece at the school for the other characters. And yeah, I think I haven't seen her in, I don't think, anything else. So seeing her kind of come to the scene and with this subtle force of calmness and strength, I think was really nice to see on screen. And overall, I have to say, I was less excited by a lot of the other nominees in this category.
I'll bite on that, Erika. I think you're perfectly right. I'll go right into it. Emily Blunt and America Ferrera don't belong in the category. At no point you come out of Oppenheimer and you're like, boy, Emily Blunt. No one thought that.
There's only one scene. The one scene in the courtroom where she just starts dangling the carrot and
Yes.
running circles around. I was like, she probably got nominated for that scene alone.
But when you're telling me that Rosamund Pike from Saltburn isn't nominated, but her America Ferrera are, like, there's or Sandra Hüller's Zone of Interest, like, no.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, Erika, on that. I think the other three nominees, Jodie Foster, Danielle Brooks, and Divine Joy Randolph, are all really, really good. I would probably maybe lean towards Danielle Brooks, only because I think she was by far the strength of that film. Every scene when she showed up, there was a lot there, and it wasn't just sort of a showy performance. There's a lot of emotion, a lot of singing, a lot of laughter. Like, there was something really special there. Divine Joy Randolph's performance that stayed with me. It's a very good performance, as is actually Jodie Foster. I think what's interesting with Naiad, I think Jodie Foster stole the show from Annette Bening by a mile. Jodie Foster's really the strength of that film in my view. But I would go with Danielle Brooks ultimately. I think it's a really special performance, and I hope to see lots more of her. Hayden, how about you?
I love those takes. I'm gonna actually go off of what you just said about Jodie Foster for Naiad. I got to see Naiad at TIFF, and I fell in love with the story as well as the characters, but specifically Jodie Foster's character as the best friend, the coach, and what she had to, portray in that film to be able to steal so many scenes, like you just said. I thought was so good to see on screen, and I think she definitely was one of the best for obviously of this year. But in terms of this, I'd really like to see Jodie Foster come out with a win for sure.
All right, 3 different takes on that. That's good stuff.
Some hot takes.
Hayden, take us into
Yes, actor in a supporting role. All right, so the nominees for this year are Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling for Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things. This one I think there's going to be a lot of fun with because all of them are excellent actors, no question. But I'm always team Mark. I'm Mark Ruffalo team all the way. His portrayal in Poor Things was so odd and so quirky, and I thought that he just, like, every time he's on screen, he's just stealing it, as well as you just want to give him a hug at the same time. Like, I was just telling Erika too, he's like your fun uncle that you always want to see and stuff like that. So that one, I think I'm going to have to lean towards Mark Ruffalo, although I think any one of these guys has a chance to win, no question.
Erika, how about you?
Yeah, I think going in the opposite direction of the previous category, this one is very strong, all for different reasons. I really liked all of these roles. I have to give a special shout out to Sterling K. Brown. I think that he was so excellent in American Fiction. I think he was my favorite part of the film. Just so much fun, so emotional at the same time, and strong against Jeffrey Wright. But at the end of the day, excuse me, I'm siding with Hayden on this one. Mark Ruffalo, Poor Things. Again, it was so much fun. I was laughing out loud so often at Mark Ruffalo's dialogue. He was such a nice pairing with Emma Stone, and just both of their levels of talent were so high up for me, especially in this world that they created. So he gets the win for me.
Plus, one thing that you told me earlier too was that you want to see Mark with an acceptance speech, and I'm all behind that. I just think
that would be hilarious. It would be. It would be. It is a good category. My choice, as soon as I saw the film, I walked out and I said, I can't imagine thinking anyone else but this person should win this category. This is easy. I think absolutely Ryan Gosling and Barbie. I could not believe he walked off with that whole film, in my view. Yeah. And also, I'd also argue, I think he had the biggest challenge. You're playing a Ken doll. What are you supposed to do with that? And I thought not only did he make it something special and funny and actually interesting, he was actually the standout of the whole film. And that, for me, that's why it's easily Ryan Gosling. I've got to say with Robert Downey Jr., and I love him as an actor, there's no question, I thought any dozen actors could have played that part. It's not a special performance. It's not a special role. He's very good in it. But for me, this category, Sterling K. Brown, excellent. Mark Ruffalo, excellent. But I thought Ryan Gosling had the biggest challenge. So I'd go with Gosling.
I'd agree with that. That's a good one. Ryan Gosling as Ken,
Oh my God.
he's Knuff. Absolutely.
He is Knuff. He is Knuff. And also shout out Robert De Niro, sincerely for having one of the best performances of his career this late in his career. He is outstanding in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Is like, oh my God.
Excellent, excellent. But
Agreed.
I still think Gosling had the biggest challenge at hand.
I really appreciate the conversation around Gosling and Barbie and wanting to see him in more comedic roles generally. I think he's so good in those types of roles. So it'd be great to see some more of those coming forward.
100%. All right, let's jump into Best Director. So this year's nominees are Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, and Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest. For me, this was also fairly easy. I thought Scorsese's work was amazing, even late in his career. But for me, this is definitely Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest. It's the clearest directorial vision. It's the cleanest directorial vision. It's risky. It's audacious. It's a full-on experience. Glazer. This is a very good category. All five are excellent. But for me, it was Glazer pretty easily. Erika, how about you?
I'm going to flip to our other WIFF 23 official selection, Anatomy of a Fall, Justine Triet. Not many people, I think, could take a film that is so dialogue heavy and so simple in its settings and make it so incredibly engaging. And that's what she did. She put us in a house and in a courtroom for 2 hours and a little bit, I think. And it didn't feel like any time had passed the whole time. I was just absolutely glued to the screen. Just excellent work. I remember like during festival, just the people leaving that theater and being so surprised that a French courtroom drama could bring so much entertainment. It was such a strong film for me. And I love the path that she's had this award season. And the attention that she's gotten. So I would vote for her, and I am excited to see more from her in the future as well.
Good choice. Hayden, where are you at?
It's tough. My head wants to say Jonathan Glazer, The Zone of Interest. Love that film, and like you said, the clear vision and what he had to do with that film was so interesting and so different than what I've seen as a cinematic experience before. But my heart's saying Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer.
Shocker.
I know, right? But yeah, just what he's able to do on screen, the visuals, and him taking that screenplay essentially, like it's based off of the autobiography, right? So him taking that and then putting it onto screen, but then also using all practical effects is something that I love. It really brings you into every scene. And he's just an absolute genius when it comes to all his films. So I'm just going to have to keep on the Christopher Nolan bandwagon, and I'd vote for him, no question.
Good thing Monia's not at this award ceremony to steal that from him.
Exactly.
So true.
Good stuff.
Okay.
So many good nominees in that, though.
Getting into our next category, we're going to Best Documentary. And the nominees for this year are Bobby Wine, The People's President, The Eternal Memory, Four Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, and 20 Days in Mariupol. This is, I think, a special category for us because it includes To Kill a Tiger, which was a nominee for our 2022 WIFF Prize in Canadian Film. We had the director, Nisha Pooja, at the festival that year as a special guest, and she is such a joy. The care that she put into this film is so important and so known. I'm really excited that this film has reached a bigger audience with being recognized by the Oscars. More people across Canada are seeing it. More people in the US are seeing it. Hopefully more people across the world are seeing the story. So I think that's really great, and no bias, but she's my pick for the category. I think, one, I love documentaries in general, but they can tell such a powerful story and bring so much attention to the things going on around the world that we might not understand or are aware of, which in this day and age is a rarity with the internet. But I think that she did such a great job telling the story and bringing this to our attention and making sure that we can move forward in a way where these types of things aren't going to keep happening in countries around the world. So it's my vote.
Well said. Hayden, how about you?
I don't know how to follow up with that, because To Kill a Tiger is definitely, I do want it to win, no question. But I will, go lean a little bit. I was thinking Four Daughters as well, because that's such a strong, engaging story from start to finish. But the one that just left me breathless the whole time was 20 Days in Mariupol. From start to finish, I was in it and I was feeling it, and I had to like take time to decompress afterwards, and it stuck with me, and I still think about it. And it's something that's a documentary that is so real, as well as at the same time it's still happening, and it's happening other places around the world, and it's so meaningful in different ways to be able to capture something like that. I just thought it's a harrowing feat to be able to even have this being able to be screened across the world and on streaming. So I'm gonna have to lean towards 20 Days.
The whole category is loaded with great films. All 5
Yeah.
nominations are good, but for me, To Kill a Tiger by a good mile. It's the film that stayed with me the longest, for sure. I saw that film almost 2 years ago, and it's still vivid. It's such a powerful story. It's such an emotional story. I thought it was so risky too, just even making it, and then also knowing. I think Nisha had 8,000 trillion hours of footage or something. And boiling that film down to what it is unbelievable. It's a very, very, very good film. For me, To Kill a Tiger pretty easily. They're all good nominees, but To Kill a Tiger by a mile. And proud that it's a film that we had highlighted in that way as a WIFF Present Canadian Film nominee. It's very, very strong. And I'm thrilled more than anything that it's now got that much more attention to it and that much more skill. That's actually the most important thing. But nothing would make me happier than to see Nisha clutching an Oscar on Oscar night.
Yeah, I'd agree, no question. And with that, Vincent, I've seen a lot of new executive producers jumping on to Kill a Tiger. What does that say about the film, and what is that going to do for the film? Like Erika said, being able to see more audiences.
Yeah, it definitely raises its profile. The executive producer credit is essentially, people with clout or fame latching on, saying this is important, this matters, and thanks to their names being attached to it, more people will come on board, more media will want to talk about it, bigger distribution opportunities. So that's a really, really good sign, because ultimately the core of this is the message and the story, and to bring meaningful change to what the story is about. So that I'm really happy to see that it's getting this much buy-in from people. That's the important thing, but it wouldn't be bad to them also give them an Oscar too, because they deserve it.
Yeah, let's hope.
And I just want to note, for anyone who's watching in Canada who hasn't seen To Kill a Tiger yet, you can watch it for free on the NFB website. So I definitely encourage you look that up and see it before this Sunday, so we can all be cheering Nisha on.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So next is Best International Feature Nominee. Nominees are Io Capitano from Italy, Perfect Days from Japan, Society of Snow from Spain, The Teacher's Lounge from Germany, and The Zone of Interest from United Kingdom. Also very strong category, but like we talked about a little bit earlier, I'm going to have to go with The Zone of Interest for Jonathan Glazer's from the UK. Was able to see this at TIFF, saw it again at WIFF. Really happy that we're able to bring it. It is such a cinematic experience, and it's one that I encourage everyone obviously to try to see in cinema, and to see with a group of people, because the silences are so loud in this film. You can hear a pin drop in the theater. The scenes are gripping, and the different elements of visual versus auditory experience in this film, I thought just carried the whole film. Like, it was just something I'd never experienced before, where there's one film being seen visually through your eyes, and then there's another film being heard throughout the duration of the film. It just creates this eerie sensation of film watching that I thought was just so strong. So I'm gonna have to definitely go with the Zone of Interest.
I'll jump in on this. I just rewatched Zone of Interest on the weekend, and just how precise that film is and composed. That's a
Mhm,
film that has a lot on its mind, and even the first time you watch it, you're like, "What are they up to? Where is this going?" It's such a standout of a film. The use of sound and also the music, absolutely
mhm,
outstanding. For me, it's Zone of Interest for sure because it's such a high level of achievement. But I will say, as well as a shout out, Society of the Snow from Spain is unbelievably good,
mhm.
unbelievably moving, engaging. J.A. Bayona makes the very best humane disaster movies. That film is so strong. But for me, this is still for sure the Zone of Interest. Erica?
I'm hopping on the bandwagon. And I was going to say with mine, this isn't a film that many people are looking forward to watching again or revisiting the story. And you guys have both proved me wrong. And I mean, I can't wait to see it again as well. Like you guys have both said, it's such a strong and intense film. I also saw this during our fall festival last year, and just the slow walk out of the theater was also such an intense moment. Like everyone was just so intensely feeling this thing. Like, what did we just watch? What story did we just hear and see and feel? And then for me, working, jumping right back into work mode for the festival, definitely a film where it's better to take a little bit of time and to digest it. It's so strong and heavy. Yeah, it's really great. It's something that if you explained it to me, I wouldn't be as interested. But
Yeah.
seeing it and experiencing it on
Mhm.
screen, it completely absorbs you. So I'm really glad to see a few mentions for that film across the Oscars this year. I think it's really great, just even people revisiting some of Jonathan Glazer's catalog from this. But yeah, it's a really great and strong film, and I will be rewatching it at some point. I don't think many will, but I'm glad that we're all in the same camp on this one.
Good choice along the way,
Mhm.
no question. Let's go into Best Feature. All right. Pardon me. And this year's 10 nominees for Best Picture are American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. It's a great 10 films for the year, no doubt. A lot of meritorious films. If Killers of the Flower Moon won, very well deserved. If Barbie
Mhm.
won, I think it would deserve it. If Anatomy of a Fall won, I would think it would deserve it. Past Lives, really special. But ultimately, the film that stayed with me the most, that was the most impressive to me, was The Zone of Interest. And I would give it Best Picture because I just think that film is playing a whole different game. It's just it's hitting it's playing in a whole different baseball field.
Mhm.
I think it's really strong for sure. And Oppenheimer I think for sure is going to win, and it's a very strong film, no doubt at all. But a Zone of Interest followed by maybe a Killers of the Flower Moon or a Past Lives, I think are certainly on an upper echelon. But for me, it's a Zone of Interest.
Mhm.
Hayden, how about you?
Um, yeah, another tough category for me. But just for not even just for the sake of it, it was a fantastic film. But I want to just, I'd love to see if Past Lives got a win for this. It's such a
Oh,
beautiful film. Like, it's just perfectly sized.
yeah,
The
yeah.
story is amazing. The characters are amazing. It catches you from the first scene when they're kids, and it brings you all the way along, and then it just ends perfectly, and you're just like, that's all I wanted. It was a beautiful like for an hour and a half of romantic drama. I thought it was just something that everyone should see and everyone should be able to enjoy in different ways and take something from it. So yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit of a off direction, and also being able to say that we showed this during our WIFF presents
Yeah.
way back when, I think last year, sometime early last year
But
was.
May or June.
Yeah,
Yeah.
May or June. So like being able to say that we played it as well during our year-round programming, and it was sold out, and seeing all those
It
people come
was.
out was something that I'm like, yeah, if Past Lives could just somehow take the Best Picture nominee, that would just be something that's really special.
What was amazing at that screening was the audience when they came out of seeing Past Lives with Presents. Everybody knew they had seen something special.
Mhm,
Exactly.
Yeah.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
true.
It's a special one. Erica, okay, where are you at? Best Picture.
First, I want to say, Hayden, I'm glad that one stayed with you because I know for so long we were all waiting for you to watch it
Yeah, it
so
took
that
me
we could
a
all
little
talk
longer than I
about
wanted, but
it.
yes, it was worth it.
But yeah, I agree with you. Past Lives, it's so special, and just to build on, everyone knows that they've seen a special film, but everyone has probably experienced some piece of what happened in that film, just about a lost love. I think that's so touching, and it was done in such a delicate way. It was so
Hmm.
great. Um,
Mhm, mhm.
but again, my heart this season lies with Poor Things. Uh, I want to go live in that castle with God.
Hmm.
I think it's just, I had so much fun watching it that just thinking about it brings me joy. The costumes, the hairstyling, the dialogue, the dancing, the all of it was so much fun. I want more people to see this film. I want more people to see Lanthimos's work. I just think it's a weird world that I want to live in, and he gets my vote this time.
It's a Yorgos Lanthimos film. There's no question.
Hmm.
It's very on brand. It's a very, very special film. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the costume design and production design categories. If they
Hmm.
go for Poor Things, if they go for Barbie, maybe they would split it. There's a whole universe going on in Poor Things that I thought was one of its major strengths.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'd agree.
Yeah. And that's all. So thank you to everyone for joining us this morning. I know we touched on some of the categories, not all of them, but we would love to hear from you in who you would vote for this Sunday at the Oscars. Who are you rooting for on screen? We're really excited to see, hopefully, some of the films that we showed at the festival
Hmm.
get some recognition on the Oscars stage. So make sure to tune in this Sunday at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a really great night hosted by Jimmy Kimmel. And then also don't forget to buy your tickets to WIFF Presents. Today and tomorrow we have the Oscar shorts, and we also brought back Ava DuVernay's wonderful film Origin. So
So
don't
good.
miss
Don't
that.
miss
So
it.
good.
Playing
Don't miss it.
today and on Thursday, and stay in touch with us. We always have some great programming coming your way to get you ready for the next year's Oscars. So thanks again for tuning in. Hayden and Vincent, thank you so much for joining this morning and
Yeah, thank you.
sharing your opinions.
This is fun.
And we'll see you
Pleasure.
next time.
Yeah,
See you soon.
let's
Okay.
talk about it afterwards. After
Exactly.
Sunday. Be a good weekend.